Boom, shave the knuckles for justice, folks. You are watching the Political Vigilante. Coming out of the darkness into the light is the truth that the ruling class doesn't want us to have. They want you to chew on some of their big, fat bones of propaganda, suck down some CIA talking points so that the oligarchs can stay in power. But you're not that goddamn stupid, are you? That's why you're here, watching YouTube, watching shows like this. This was submitted by Patreon supporter Jeffrey. Has great tea in Austin. We're going to see him soon. Billionaires' donations will turn Notre Dame into a monument to hypocrisy. Handouts from France's super rich make them look pious and lend credibility to gross inequality. This is a great story. Not that Notre Dame burned down, but we're going to get into what happened. There's all these inequities in France, which is why they're having the yellow vest thing that keeps going every week. So let's get into it. In 2017, a welter of stories appeared in the international press pointing out the brokenness of Paris's Notre Dame Cathedral. Officials showed journalists how patches of limestone would crumble at a finger's touch. Gargoyles that had lost their heads were patched with plastic pipes, while fallen, I don't know what that word is, fallen balustrades, I don't know, were replaced with wooden planks. All this decay was caused by pollution, acid rain, and 8 centuries of use, but also official neglect was to blame. They couldn't get money. No one wanted to help out. The rich were complaining about having to pay all the taxes. No one wanted to help 2 years ago. No one was going to help. No one wanted to do it. And then what happened? The inferno, and all of a sudden, nobody can give too much. After years of preaching the shrinking of the public sector, the French president Emmanuel Macron now wants to mobilize the full resources of the state to get the roofless cathedral rebuilt within just 5 years. And the money from France's billionaire class just keeps raining down. Selma Hayek's husband, he's a billionaire. Now everybody wants to help, which, okay, that's cool. People want to help. Oh, a historical monument, whether you're religious or not, is burned. Oh, I wouldn't, okay. My first instinct, we should save that. That's a piece of history. That's an ancient building. I wouldn't want any cathedral anywhere in Europe to get burned to the ground. I wouldn't want that to happen. That little church that's right by, what was the trade towers that survived the 9/11 crash. Boy, if that got burned down, we should fix that. That's a part of our history. But there's more. There's more. It points out the hypocrisy that's been happening here, right? For these 2 episodes, just 2 years apart, we can draw 2 conclusions. The first is that what is happening this week is a remarkable display of public sector coordination and private generosity in the service of a great thing, which it is. It is, as it says, it's one of the world's treasures. It's good people have that heart and want to help, right? And the second is that the rebuilt cathedral will be a monument to that gigantic hypocrisy of austerity politics. None of these billionaires wanted to give any money back. They didn't want to pay higher taxes. They don't want the French people to have better benefits. They don't want to get people out of poverty. But this they'll jump on with because I'm sure it's a tax break. Makes them look good. Giving up some of their billions of dollars so that working class people in France have better lives, that there's less poor people in France. Are they willing to do that? No. A heritage site that roused barely a shrug 2 years ago means the world this week. A billionaire class that shrieked at the wealth taxes of the former president Holland is happy to stump up whatever it takes now. A politician, Macron, who has repeatedly told the poor they must live on less. That's why there's riots, Macron. And the workers that they must give more to bosses. Now plays at being a national leader like Charles de Gaulle with more hair wax. Workers got to give more to their bosses. The poor got to, less social services. Well, how are we going to pay for it? They say the same thing in France. They say, how are we going to pay for it? How are we going to pay for Medicare for all? How are we going to pay for free college tuition? Oh, the billionaires got money for this bullshit. It's not bullshit. That's out of line. They got money for this, but they don't have money to help their own people. And they didn't want to help this building 2 years ago. Maybe had they helped it 2 years ago, it could have been updated with sprinklers and fire stuff or whatever. No? Oh, now you want to do something about it. When it looks good and you stand there. I love it when the rich just pat themselves on the back for doing something noble, but not really noble. Politically noble. Publicly noble. A capital city that over the past few months has been under siege from the working poor of the Yellow Vests is reminded once again of the enormous wealth held by a very few of its citizens. Everything that was impossible in late 2017 is now deemed essential in 2019. And you wonder why there's a Yellow Vest rotation. And it's not being covered in America, by the way. We're not covering that every week. Rachel Maddow isn't wringing her hands over that every week. She's screaming Russia, Mueller report. Mueller, oh, we all love him. Mueller, whatever his damn name is. Oh, we love this guy. Remember when he lied about weapons of mass destruction to get us into an illegal war in Iraq in 2002? Remember that? That's the same guy. Now he's a hero of the left? Oh, great. Who's on our side this week again in the fake left? The fakey resistance left? The Thursday's Guardian lead story on how 1% of the people in England own 50% of its land. It's all over. Or remind yourself of the Oxfam finding that last year the world's 2,200 billionaires got 12% wealthier, while the bottom 3.5 billion grew 11% poorer. So these assholes got more money. These assholes could give up half of their wealth, not lose one single tennis club membership, not one private jet flight, not one polo horse race or contest or whatever those rich assholes do with those goddamn horses, and it would help half of the planet. These 22 dicks could help these 3.5 billion people by just giving up half of their wealth. They wouldn't lose anything. They wouldn't lose anything. They would still live the most opulent life that human beings have ever lived, but they would help. So now you want to help Notre Dame. You didn't give a shit about these people then. You don't give a shit about them now. It's all show. It's rich people saying, look how, oh, thank you, the rich. Thank you for throwing a half-eaten sandwich out of your limousine as you drove by and it hit me in the face and I got to pick it out of the dirt and eat it. Thank you so much. So, this was reported. San Francisco billionaire Mark Benoff and his wife Lynn are giving UC San Francisco $30 million to create a first-of-its-kind program to study the most effective ways to end homelessness. Study homelessness. So I tweeted, fantastic, great way to give money to a bunch of people that are not homeless, get a tax break, and pretend you care. I guess a $30 million shelter with healthcare, drug treatment, and job training makes too much sense. Hashtag billionaires are people too. They're all full of shit. They're all full of shit. Thank you, Jeffrey, and your wonderful teas in Austin, Texas. I will be there soon. I'm going to Tempe for the Jimmy Dore show May 12th, I believe, and then the weekend after that, the 18th and 19th in Austin, Texas with the Jimmy Dore show, and then Ron Placone and I are going to the East Coast for the Progressive Comedy Tour. June 12th through 19, DC, Baltimore, Philly, right? New Haven, New York City, and Boston. Get your tickets at grahamelwood.com. And remember, you're all making Gotham great again. Billionaires aren't.